Hello, welcome to the Bonhams tent at the Goodwood Revival, where they're going to sell some pretty nice cars. So Simon and I thought we'd chat you through a few of them. Starting, I think, with this. It's a Toyota 2000 GT. Don't see many of those around. It is gorgeous. They made 351.
And one.
351, yes.
Nice.
It is very pretty, isn't it?
It's a gorgeous shape.
It was Toyota's halo car to try and get them to sell more cars in Europe.
Right.
Sort of more European sports lines than what had gone before.
So was the 351 the plan, or did they not sell many?
I think they just realised it was going to be an expensive car and didn't sell that many of them.
Okay.
How much do you think you'll sell for?
Ooh, well, it's got to be pushing near $1 million, I would
It is.
say. To be that rare.
£900,000.
Oh, yes.
If you want one of these. But they are beloved. In fact, there was a convertible version of this,
Really?
of which they built two.
Wow, okay.
Specifically built to be in a James Bond film. And purely built pretty much because Sean Connery was too tall to sit in one of these.
Of course. I mean, it is incredibly low down. In fact, I'm having to sit on my knees just to have a look inside it. Says it all, really. That is stunning, isn't it? Who'd have thought Toyota could build such a thing?
Yeah. Especially in the late 1960s.
No offence, Toyota, but it's got a wooden dashboard and everything.
But if we move forward, 20 years? We get to this. What do you think that is? Without looking.
Is it a Lancia? Oh,
Well, it's obviously an Aston Martin.
well, yeah, that's okay.
But what Aston?
Trick question. I've seen there's a Lagonda badge on the side now. So, is it an Aston Martin Lagonda?
Well, it looks a lot like the Lagonda, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's got that front end. It's got the wedge of that original William
Yes.
Towns Lagonda.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Oh,
No, this is actually a prototype for the Aston Martin Virage. The car that was sold in the early 1990s.
1990s, wow.
Yes. Apparently the Virage has quite a lot of things in common with the Lagonda. So they took this, they shortened it by 300 millimetres. They took the back doors off, so it's now a coupe, and then they brought it to the British Motor Show. And everyone went, oh my God, that's amazing. And you know what they did then?
They didn't sell it.
They stuck it in storage.
Nice.
But, interestingly, it's a good story. A man who liked Aston Martins was having a mooch around what they had in their back offices. And he had a problem. He was a tall man, and he didn't fit in many of their cars by that point. But he realised that because this had become a 2+2 rather than a full four-seater, and with big doors, he could get his 6'4" frame into that. So he bought it, and he used it as his daily car. It is a literal one-off.
It's a Lagonda built for a very tall man.
Yes.
Well, it's good, isn't it? It's I do like the shape. You can't go wrong with that shape. It's a shame cars aren't this shape anymore.
It's not quite got the full. It's not got the full futuristic dash that Lagonda had.
No.
Watch out,
It's,
you might be run over by something from the 1900s.
Oh, blimey. It's classy though, isn't it?
It's cool.
I like how it's got the kind of little shelf in the middle.
A lot of fresh walnut for you there.
Yes. Nice steering wheel too. That's cool. I like that.
£350,000, sir?
Just that much?
Yes.
Wow. For a one-off.
For a one-off. There's only one of these.
That's enticing, I would say, isn't it?
It's quite cool. It's almost like a Lagonda for those people who are too scared to buy the Lagonda.
Yeah. Is it V12?
One tall man. No, it's a 5.3 litre V8.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to be cruising around country lanes of Britain,
Yep.
or absolutely hurling yourself around the rally stages of Italy?
Ooh. I'll take the rally stage of Italy, please, I think.
Okay. Do you have a favourite Group B car?
It's difficult to pick a favourite.
Yeah.
I mean, anything with spotlights on the front does it
look
for me.
cool.
And that's really the only line I draw on rally cars, generally.
Well, this is an 037 Evo 2, built in 1984. The original 037 was the last rear-wheel drive car to ever win the World Rally Championship, before the Quattro came along and ruined everything.
Yeah.
So no more slidey rear-end, tail-out stuff. This was the second improvement of it. And this is the most successful Evo 2 ever. It actually won 6 of its first 9 rallies in the Italian Championship and across Europe.
Wow.
And, in case you recognise it, You might have seen it at the members meeting a couple of years ago when we were on the rally stage.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
It had a go.
Did it ever make it to would it have been WRC by then?
So I don't think this one ever actually got on a WRC stage, but Group B cars did. This was used extensively in Italy and on the European Rally Championship.
Yeah.
All right. In which case, I think you need to tell me about this one.
Oh, this one?
Yes.
Well, this is a 1973 sports car.
Sports car.
Porsche 911, Carrera RSR, built to race at Le Mans in 1973.
Yep.
I had a go in this.
You've driven it.
I've
of
driven
course
this.
you have. Yes, I have heard.
So I have a special relationship with this car. But it was initially conceived because obviously the 917 was killed off by a regulation change, and Porsche couldn't be bothered to put a 3-litre engine in it. But they needed something else to do while they waited for their Group 6 car to join the fray. So they built this.
So they put the world's largest button on a 911.
Yes, basically, and they built a few of them, and this one specifically was the Le Mans spec, which has got the big swoopy wing at the back. This is the only one that had it, and the idea was it would be cheap to build, easy to make, but with a bit of fettling and some big wheels and big brakes from the 917, very fast, and it proved to be that.
Yeah.
It was, as I experienced, rather exciting.
I think the star of the show, other than the Martini livery, is that massive tail, isn't it?
It's fantastic, and it's purely unique as well. Like, you don't see other cars with that. Like the 911 really has, it firstly pioneered the kind of ducktail shape, didn't it, in 911? Yeah. But in terms of racing cars, having it swoop right down onto the wheel arch is not something you'd see anywhere else particularly, especially not at this time.
It's also so much wider at the back than the front, isn't it?
It's enormous.
It's sort of almost like they're trying to hide it with that ducktail.
I think the wheels at the back are 14 inches wide.
14 inches wide?
Yes, which is
Lord.
astonishing. But
That's
yeah,
many
because
inches.
they were taken from the 917, so they've got the big old proper.
What's 14 inches? About 35 centimetres.
Yes, they are.
And that's just the
quite
wheel.
Spectacular. Hence the enormous wheel arches. So it's, but it's only a tiny 2.8 litre flat six in there, so it's not a big engine.
So is the track not actually any wider? It's just that it's got big ass tyres on it.
Yes, basically.
That's
I
amazing.
think they must have made some adjustments because obviously putting big wheels on a tiny car doesn't tend to do much for the balance, but it worked.
Go on then.
They did. They're very impressive.
How much am I paying for your baby?
I heard that I'm going to need to fork out anywhere between £4.5 to £6.5 million. I would pay that.
It's worth it though.
I mean, it's a fundamental piece of motorsport history, isn't it? It came fourth at Le Mans, only beaten by kind of Matra 670s and the Ferrari 312.
Yeah.
So it was best of the rest amongst some pretty fierce competition, and yeah, the fact it kind of raced for that season and then disappeared makes it that much more special. I think it was a bit of a unicorn. So yeah.
And it was at the members meeting earlier this year.
It was, yes.
The Festival of Speed before that.
Yeah.
It's been everywhere.
It
Now,
has.
speaking of brilliant paint jobs
Yeah.
and ducktails
Yes.
and music,
Oh.
let me bring you over here to this
Ooh.
Carrera RSR.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna shock you here. I'd buy that, not that.
You would buy this? Not
I'd buy that.
I mean, I'd be far less worried about using this than I would that. I think if I were to buy that, I would probably put it in a garage like all its owners before me have, and be too scared to drive it.
There's probably a couple more places you can use this, but it's
Yes.
still £750,000.
It's a lovely colour as well.
It is.
It's,
Now, I believe there were only ever 10 sold in this colour, and this is the only right-hand drive one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So you can genuinely drive it without being absolutely terrified on a British road as well.
And that RSR, it's that ducktail,
Yeah.
I think, with this paint job
Yeah.
and the stickers, let's be honest, the stickers are
That's
awesome.
the shape, isn't it?
That must be one of the best looking 911s there's ever been.
Yeah. That's the shape. And yeah, the car pretty much that was based on.
Yeah.
Basically, you've got that racing car in a road car body and slightly more manageable tyres.
Yeah, you sort of go from racing that, stick a ducktail on it.
Yep.
Here's
Here
your
it is.
road car you could take out.
Yeah, that's it. 2-car garage, there we go. I'll have both.
There's not just all of those cars in there. If you want to come out here in the beautiful sunshine of Sussex, there's quite a lot of cars here. So we're going to go and have a quick walk down. When I say cars, what I mean is planes. Because that's an aeroplane.
Some of it.
It's
Some of
car-
the aeroplane.
Yeah, I think it had a second wing.
You'd hope so. You'd also hope the wings didn't have massive holes in.
No. And that
But
there was an
it's-
engine.
Yeah.
How would you feel about sitting here, maybe?
I wouldn't know because I'd never be sat there, ever, in my entire life. To be fair, you have a hard time getting me in a modern plane, let alone one made of wood. Held together with what, exactly? Bits
cables.
of cable.
There's some
and
string over there.
some bolts.
There's some string there as well, actually.
It's astonishing that they A, thought it would work, B, found out that it did work, C, managed to sell people seats to fly in it.
String is not something I want to see holding an aeroplane together.
No, it's
No. I'd probably ask the stewardess if they could let me off.
it's a different age, isn't it?
There's
It wouldn't
some
pass
other
many
planes.
safety tests these days.
Actually, you can buy a Spitfire in this sale as well. You got £4.5 million.
No,
Spitfire or 911?
911.
No, still a 911.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about Richard Hammond's own Delta Integrale?
I do like a Delta. I like the colour too.
It's a very nice one, isn't it?
Has he looked after it?
I think so. I'd hope so. £30,000. It's being sold.
that's
I believe
modest.
it's being sold to raise money for charity,
Oh, okay, nice.
which is all very nice. Let's
Yeah,
have
very
a-
good.
And if Simon's allowed to talk about cars that he drove, how about these? Look at these Land Rovers. I've driven some of those. One of them is the second Land Rover ever built for production. The other one is the 2,269th one ever built. That one over there was built for the Queen. Or, if you watch our video, our social media manager, James King. And there's one over there that's basically a family car. It's all you'll ever need. Which would you buy? I like the Tickford, sort of got my heart.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea that you would buy, perhaps not all of them, but a selection of 2 or 3 that you could use for different occasions. Say you wanted to arrive at a party,
Yeah.
spectacularly, you can have your butler drive you in the royal wagon, or
I want to show you something, actually.
Okay.
If we come over here. This isn't one of the ones I did get to drive.
oh, I just love how rugged they are. Look, it's made literally just bits of metal stamped on it.
But look at this.
It's got guns.
It's got.
Yes, if you were going to a party of a person you really disliked, you could turn up in this.
And look at that. That's not bulletproof. It's just that thick. That's a single piece of glass.
That's astonishing. It's that thick.
Yeah.
Blimey. Are they
Big-
real guns?
Big machine gun on the back. And one of them apparently fires blanks.
Amazing.
In the
Amazing.
back of one of them, there's a
if
grenade
the
launcher.
police pull you over, just go into the beach.
What else? What else? Here's 2. This big old Mustang.
Yes.
You could buy that and race at almost any of our events. Or if you don't have the money for something that big, or you're intimidated by a big V8, how about something with an engine that's under 1.3 litres?
I think I'd almost prefer this.
Yes.
Especially for Goodwood, because you could just not brake the entire time and spend the entire lap sideways.
Well, this has raced the members meeting this year.
Was it a members meeting, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
That's the old decal on the side.
Yes.
This was raced in the British Saloon Car Championship between 1980 and 1981. Now, the problem was, because of the way the rules were designed, these cars were sort of strangled a little bit. So the owner, he had a little fiddle. And he
Did
found
he
an
now?
extra 40 horsepower. And actually
Really?
won the championship.
This is a bit of me. I like this
One?
And you cannot argue with this badge either. That's the one for me. If I was to buy a classic race car, yes please.
All right. Now, what about... Barbie's big at the moment, isn't it? Do you want to have your Barbie moment?
It's less alarming in real life.
Well, it's less alarming because it's covered by a bit of dust. It is a viciously
Good
pink
Lord.
Series 3 E-Type.
But it's not just the outside, is it?
No, this is a removable hardtop. And when George comes around here, he will see that it is viciously pink on the inside as well.
Good Lord. Somebody's going to buy it, aren't they?
Someone will. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've had your Barbie moment and you've been to see the film and you're thinking, God, I need some of that, what more could you need?
And at the end of the day, it is an E-Type.
Yes, and here's something else about that. Like, how much is a Cayman?
70, 60, 70 grand.
So if it's base 50 grand.
Yeah.
50 grand. Two-seater, rear-wheel drive, sports car. It's not a flat four. It's not a piddly little boring flat four. It's a V12. 270 horsepower V12, £50,000. Speaking of slightly strange and special things, that's an AC Cobra that wasn't built to the 1990s.
Ah.
Because why not? Defender, do you like decals and do you like Defenders and do you like James Bond? There you go, that'll cost you £120,000. And over here, how about a Tatra? You like Tatras?
For the sake of this video, I'm going to say, yes, they're great, you should buy one. It's not my choice of car, no.
Yeah, but you've got to come around here with a Tatra.
It has got a cool fin on it. Look
It's
at
got
this.
a fin.
It gets better at the back, okay.
There you go. This is where Tatras are great. Rear engined, all about aerodynamics.
All about the aerodynamics, because that's just what it needs.
Because it is a mightily large thing. But 3 windscreens.
So this is because this dates back, this must be kind of 40s, 50s, right? Because they couldn't bend glass in those days. They only had flat panels, so they had to do this sort of thing.
No, it's why the split windscreen VW van has a split windscreen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's well, it's a thing. It's not ugly, is it? It's just a bit odd.
Okay, you've got 50 grand.
Yeah.
Do you want an aerodynamic car from Eastern Europe in the 1940s?
Yeah.
Or a boring 5 Series? You're going to say the 5 Series, but you're going to say the Tatra.
No, I have just spotted the wheels. Actually, they are cool.
They are very cool.
I like the pasta bowl wheels. They're good.
Before we get completely overtaken by grease, how about a Porsche tractor, or another one, or another one, or another one? 4
Yes.
Porsche tractors.
My son would buy a tractor right about now. It's about the only thing he can say, but yeah.
Or before we nip back inside.
Oh yes. Look. See,
It's a tuk-tuk.
is it a genuine tuk-tuk?
It's a real tuk-tuk. But
very sweet.
have a second look at it.
What's going on there?
It's got lions on the wheels.
Wow.
Lions on the wheels. It's got elephant curtains.
That is quality.
Have you seen where you store the spare wheel?
Spare wheel under the driver's seat.
Under the driver's seat. In case you need it. Do you want a tuk-tuk?
I would have a tuk-tuk. It's got. Are they?
They're candles. Yes.
Wow.
Candles.
I mean,
Proper.
I'd hate to think. Oh, that's
What you
not.
want.
I'd hate to think where you'd find replacement bodywork if you had a Prang.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of tuk-tuks around.
Yeah, but to find that exact pattern again would be a challenge, wouldn't it?
Well, this one is for sale for charity again. So it'll cost you £20,000.
£20,000.
Yeah.
It's still cheaper than most new road cars.
Yes.
So yeah, why not?
Or you could have a bus.
Yeah. I can see why that would appeal.
It's a full Routemaster double-decker bus.
Do you need a license to drive one of these?
You definitely need a license to drive things on the road, yes, Simon.
Yeah, you know what I mean. A bus license? So do you get? Is it a bus license, or is it just the big
believe
articulated
that you
license?
do, but for £90,000 that'll carry a lot more people than an S-Class.
Yeah, it would.
Yes.
Yes. I can't imagine it's. Well, I imagine it's free to tax too, isn't it? And you get used to bus lanes. Win-win.
There you go, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Right, let's go back inside.
Nice.
Well, if you want to bid on any of those cars, you'd better get your skates on because as this video goes out, they're going for sale tomorrow. Or you might have missed it if you're watching after that. But if you are, fear not, because there is something here for you. There's this rather interestingly spec McLaren Elva, as specified by two-time Formula One world champion Mr. Fernando Alonso himself. It's an interesting thing. You can buy it if you're going to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Simon, are you going to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix?
Not in my plans currently, no.
Okay.
Which is a shame.
Do you have $3 million?
I do not. No.
Not after you've bought that.
No, that's definitely, I'd buy that first and then probably run out of cash after that.
If you are, and you do, buy that. And we're going to go and have a look at some other cool stuff.